And we're live again, I think. Alright. I just need time to practice. Bro, it's no joke, Ricky. Like, I know you guys think I'm joking when I say it, but I spend at least 12 hours a day doing this, probably more. And I'm still practicing too, all the time, constantly. I was looking through stocks today, just looking through random ass stocks to find stuff to see if it, you know, it added up to it added up to what I thought should have been doing, what I thought should have been happening. What I learned about the Dow is it's way more accurate than crypto. The thing is, there's just not as much money in it, so the percentages are just far lower. You need to have a large amount of capital to move the money that we can move with a small amount of capital. The percentages. All right, so the 8 EMA. Let's start this class correctly by removing all this crap. Removing these moving averages. Removing everything else. And only keeping up the 8 EMA. Alright, so the 8 EMA is probably, I'm going to say, the second or third most accurate way of determining a buy and sell. This is Mullet's go-to strategy, okay? It's a couple rules to it. It's not very complicated. First thing you're going to need to know is which one it is. I particularly use this one, the 8 EMAs plus Fibbo reversal strategy. You can find that under indicators right here. You just type in 8 EMA and look what pops up. Okay, the reason I like this one is because it's not just the 8 EMA, but it's also the 21. And it's got the 13 in there also. And you can add more if you'd like. I don't use all those. I'll just the 8 and the 13 myself. Which is pretty cool. But what it does is automatically gives you buy and sell signals built in and lets you know what you should be doing. And we have that right here, shapes right here. Right now, if you look closely, you can see it says buy right there. And I'll show you. I also don't have the 21 highlighted, but you can put the 13. I'm sorry, you can put the 13 in there if you want. Maybe make it red. That's the 13 EMA. I really only think that's needed for Forex. There's too much price action in crypto. So if you stick with the 8, which is the top one, green, I do green, Mullet does orange. And Mullet doesn't even use the 21. He's strictly the 8. But I like the 21 just to help me have some peace of mind. So this particular indicator is a strategy built in, like I said. It gives you automatic buy signals, automatic sell signals. Now it does this by using Fibonacci retracement automatically and the 8 EMA rules. And the 8 EMA rules are as follows. When we cross over top of the 8, it is a buy signal. So we crossed over the 8 right here. Okay, not only did we cross over the 8, but this candle closed above the 8 afterwards. So it was confirmation. We didn't just get one candle peeking over and then a dump like here. See, this one here is the wrong idea. You went over and you dumped. Not cool. So you would have got mad right here when you lost a little bit of percent. But here, we came over, confirmed, and we even got a buy signal. When it crosses the 8 EMA and holds, it's a buy. Why? Because most likely this 8 EMA is going to stay close to the candles all the time and ride a trend. Okay? Anytime we cross the 8 upward, it's a buy. Anytime we dip below the 8, it's a sell. I'll take it a step farther than that in a minute. But that's the two simple fundamental rules. Over the green line here, buy. Crosses over the 8 EMA equals buy. We'll put an arrow. Right there. When it dips below the green, it's a sell. Equals sell. Give me another arrow right here. There are other indicators that would have helped us not exactly do this, but you could have used this strategy and done pretty well. So that's the first two fundamental rules. Over the 8 buy, under the 8 sell. Okay, now here's where it gets a touch more deep. The farther we get away from this 8 EMA without touching it, as you see, there's a lot of touches going on here. Touch, 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 touch. The farther we get away from this 8 without touching it, the higher the likelihood that it's going to come back and touch it. That was a long ass way from the 8 EMA. From here all the way back to here is where the 8 was. That is a massive amount away. That is the definition of insanity. It is not going to stay down there 100%. Two things are going to happen. Number one, this is going to reverse and come back some, or number two, it's going to go dead ass sideways down here, and this 8 EMA is going to catch up to it. Because the 8 EMA, 8 exponential moving average, is only 8 basis points away from the price. That's why it's called the 8 EMA. So it's always going to stay super close to the price. This far away, that's just madness. So you need to look for these, and when you see these, know what's going to happen. So now we know when we cross over the buy, we dip under the sell, the farther it is away from the 8, the more likely it is to come back. This happened right here. We got a good bit away from the 8, didn't we? And look what happened. Come all the way back down here and touched. Again. How many percent was that? Yeah, 23%. 23%. I suck with the measuring tool sometimes too. 23, yeah, 25% on one candle that you would have lost because, you know, the rules state once it gets too far away from the 8, it's most likely going to come back. Hold on, let's see. Is that percent points away? 8. Exponential moving average. There's a technical definition for it. I like to think 8 basis points away. 8 basis points behind. 8 counts behind. Moving averages, 50, 100, 200. Exponential moving averages, there's a different formula for it. The best way to describe it is just it stays close to the candles. And when it gets a long way from the candles, it's probably going to come back. Now, the third rule, which really isn't a rule, it's more up to you. But when you're riding this 8 EMA up, man, don't sell any of this shit. You could if you wanted. You could buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. I mean, I think that's more trouble than it's worth. When you see it up over the 8 and riding hard like this and not taking none of these massive dips, like this right here, look, if you bought this one and rode it up, hit it, rode it up, hit it, you might have sold some of these, but you never really dipped below and held under the 8. Keep riding that. Don't freak out. You just be modest and say you bought this one. Look, I mean, even if you sold the bottom of this candle, which would have been a bad idea, you're waiting for confirmation, but this one, let's say this one here closed, and that was the one where you said, okay, I'm out. Dude, that was 30%. That was great. You made 30%. That's awesome. It only took you 3 weeks to make 20%. I'll take that. Follow these trends and ride it out. If you see them dipping hard under the 8, you can get out. Correct. If they're riding the 8, don't get out. I mean, it sucks. Like QKC has been riding the 8 for a while, and it's fiddling around, moving sideways. I know that's annoying, but it's still technically a buy. It's only been that way for a couple weeks, a couple days, because it finally broke the 8. Hint, hint. But, to each his own. To each his own. So, buy over the 8, sell under. If it's over the 8 and riding up, don't freak out. Ride it out. Especially if we think the trend's moving up. We're breaking fib lines. We're hitting our pivot points. Everything's going the way we want it to. Our moving averages are moving up. Ride it out. Take your profits and don't get upset. Let it happen. Now there's something that I added in. I use the 21 as confirmation of when to sell. Okay. When I have a candle that dips below the 8, like this one right here, and doesn't close under the 8, and then pops back up, I know to be watching now. Some stuff might be happening. Here, we did a hard dip and we missed it, but there's candles in here that I like to call the wait a minute zone, and the candles will get stuck in this wait a minute zone, just like this one right here. In between the 8 and the 21, this area right here, all this area right here, I call that the wait a minute zone. Why do I call that the wait a minute zone? Because you don't need to buy, you don't need to sell, just freeze and hang on. You're not sure what's happening yet, so don't panic. We hit this wait a minute zone. Now we could have sold this and had some kind of reaction that would have pissed you off and launched. We also could have sold this and it dumped, and we did a good thing. Point is, you're not sure yet, so you wait a minute. Now on this one, it would have cost us a little bit of percent because it came on down and did its thing, and mullet would have been 100% right. It was under the 8 and closed, get out. Mullet even adds in a little extra and says, if it's under the 8 and closed, but you bought way down here, you're up 56%, give it an extra candle. Do you really want to have to go through the hassle of trying to sell and rebuy in certain coins that don't have any liquidity and you can't get a good price in? And if that's the case, give it a little bit. It might keep going. What does your other indicators say? I don't know. Let's have a look at them. We know the simple rules of the ADMA. What does the other indicators say? So our indicators told us that right here might have been a good time to sell, which was this candle that had not fallen below the 8 EMA yet. So here, and this candle here, were ideal spots right here to start selling. Okay, we've crossed over on our MACD. Our RSI started pointing down. In my opinion, this would have been the time I got out. I didn't buy any of this at this time. I'm just using Mithril as a point. We know about our 40 line on our RSI. We took a dip here, and we didn't quite make it to 40, and we would have been looking for this to find another buy spot also, right? Now our MACD showed us it was coming down, it was coming down, it was coming down. It didn't make a positive cross till way back here. Well, that's alright, because our positive cross would have been crossing the 8 EMA again. Snap, we did the same move as we did right here. snap, popped right back up again. All this to tell you, follow these simple rules. Over the 8, buy. Under the 8, sell. You're not sure? Give it a candle or two. Use the 21 if you're not sure. If it's in between the 8 and the 21, just wait. Wait a minute. If it dips below the 21, personally, me, that's the time I'm probably getting out, because I'm already looking at my other indicators, like my MACD here and my RSI, and I've decided, man, all right, look, I'm good. I'll move to another coin for some time. And if it wants to come back and, like rebound, like it did, it rebounded, it wants to rebound, I'm cool with that. Rebound. And I'll buy in again. You know what I'm saying? And we'll do this dance again. But I'm not going to sit here in some of these coins for an extended period of time waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and hoping. I don't do hopium, y'all. Sorry, I don't do hopium. So we're finally seeing some positive signs, that it's coming back up. The good news is, if you bought way down here, man, like the damn formula told you to do, you bought and you've been riding up, you're up 100. You were up 113%, but right now you're up 86%. Literally just off of this one indicator, buy, and you haven't sold since. Like, I don't know what else to tell y'all. That's simple. Isn't XRP or anything? What do you mean? I'm confused. I'm a slow. That's the ADMA, y'all. You're gonna notice that it rides the bottom sometimes. Just stick with it and wait for it to break the 8 and hold it. Look at that right there. Broke the 8, didn't hold, dump. Rode the bottom, broke the 8, didn't hold, dump. Rode the bottom, broke the 8, didn't hold, dump. You can follow these trends too. That was clearly a down, and it wasn't an up till way back here we got this buy signal. From there, we've been riding high for quite a while. If you bought this one, you've been holding for 2 months and you made 86%. That's a long time to hold, but also if I had 10 grand in there and I held for 86% and I had $8,600 profit, I believe I'd be high-fiving somebody. You were saying isn't a hodl. Not hanging in shit coins, what I mean, for sure. Yeah. So Frank brings up an interesting point. If you're going to hold a coin, you better make sure it's got liquidity for you to get out. It's easy for us to sit here and shit talk and say that we're going to make $1 million. Are you going to be able to find an order on the order sheet to cash out $1 million? I don't know that I'll be able to find $1 million sale. Most likely what you're going to have to do is 10 $100,000 sales or 20 $50,000 sales, which is going to cut into your profits. So don't sit here and expect that you're going to sell 50,000 XRP at $589 a piece. That sounds wonderful, but I'm willing to bet you that liquidity is not going to be there when you're ready to get rid of it. It may be, and I may be wrong, and that's fine. You can call me out. But I can almost guarantee you that Mithril is not going to have that kind of order sheet when we get up here. It just will not. If 1%, let me explain this to y'all as simple as I can. If 1% of the economy knows what XRP is, which is a fact, then what's the percentage of the economy that knows what Mithril is? It's got to be what? 0.00001% of the world knows what Mithril is? And do you really think there's going to be a bunch of buyers lined up to buy this shitcoin? I highly doubt it. So bear in mind this stuff, and I'm warning you, when we start making more money here and we start making bigger moves, and instead of doing $2,000 buys, we're doing $30,000 buys, that this shit's going to get more difficult, and you need to be ready for it. I can pull up a buy sheet and look at it, but I'm willing to bet you that XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and a few others have really high liquidity. And Who knows how long that lasts? Just be leery of it. It's your money. Again, do what you want. You want to hold XRP till $10,000 a piece because Twitter said so? I'm with you. Do it, bro. I'm on team you. I want to see every single person I've ever met in the crypto space get paid. I don't care if you like me or not. And as a matter of fact, if you don't like me, I'm more likely to hope you do good because I would like to be proven wrong. I really would. Prove me wrong, please. I want to learn. If I'm not learning something every day, I don't feel like I've accomplished anything that day. I want to learn something new every day. I don't care whether it's I fix air conditioners for a living. I worked on an air conditioner I never worked on, and I learned something different. Or I found out how plastic water bottles are made, or I figured out a new function on a computer. Whatever, man. I want to learn something. I want to fill my mind with more important shit. I want to get rid of this stuff out of my brain and find something more important. Where can you see the buy sheets, James? All right, let's pull that up real quick and see. I don't know if it'll let me on here. Maybe I can. I have to pull up my VPN. Hey, can y'all see me going? Can y'all see me going to a different screen on Google here? Going to Binance. Okay. All right. Hang on. Let me pull up my VPN. Because here in Americas, we need a VPN. Anybody who wants my email, go ahead. I don't care. Spam me. I promise you, you're not going to spam me as hard as the rest of the world already does. Alright. We're pulling up. By the way, anybody who doesn't know, I'm in Canada right now. I was in Charlotte earlier, but I caught a flight, and I've already arrived in Canada. All right, y'all still got me? Didn't lose anybody, did I? I don't know exactly where I'm at in Canada. I'm in Canadian land. I'm somewhere in Canadian land. Google authentication code. Hold on a moment. Let me do my Google Authenticator that I never do. Let's go to markets. Let's find some BTC shitcoins. Let's go for a really ugly BTC shitcoin down here. Like that nobody wants. Can y'all guys see this on me on Binance, by the way? Okay, good deal. So XEM BTC. There you go. Let's have a look at this shitcoin. See what kind of volume we have on this shitcoin and what kind of liquidity we have on this shitcoin. Okay, so James, here is the order sheet. So right now, these are the available people selling it, and these are the available people buying this particular shitcoin. If you wanted to buy it, you got to find one of these up here and pay for it. If you want to sell it, you have to sell to one of these prices down here. Okay. There's some decent shit here. You know, like, I'm not exactly sure how much this is, but I can see down here that someone bought 39,000 worth and someone bought 464,000 worth, and that's the biggest buys that it's had in a while. And they were way smaller than what's in there. So I'm willing to bet you when this shit starts moving that these numbers are going to go pew, 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 way down. And you're going to see, instead of amount available being in the millions, you're going to see 10,000, 8,000, 7,000, 10,000, which is what you see on KuCoin now, or KuCoin, however you want to say it. Yeah, Opera Browser has a free VPN for anyone who wants to use VPN. I use Nord because I pay for it. I've been using Nord for a couple of years since I went to China. I needed it in China to have internet because they don't have internet in Communist China. Okay? Just in case you didn't know. Prepare for that if you ever go to Communist China. Again, this is just one coin. There are many of the shit coins. TNT. The number one favorite troll coin. When it's ready. Binance is thinking. Come on. Alright, yeah, look. Oh, here's a good example, y'all. Look. If you're wanting to, buy some of this, there's not that much available. You got 9,000 of these coins at 0.03 Bitcoin. I mean, that's hardly any. You got to come all the way up here. The price is $375. The available amount that you would want is up here at 378. So you're losing 3 points right there just because there isn't enough down here for you to buy. Make sense? You want to buy 500,000 of them? Or you want to buy 1 million. Let's say you want to buy 1 million TNT coins. Well, you got to move up here just to get enough. 462,000. You got to buy all of these, plus this, plus these two. You got to buy this whole damn order sheet to fill your order. Likewise, when you sell it, I've got 1 million shit coins to sell. Well, the price is $375, but there's not enough liquidity. You got to come all the way down here to 367 to fill your order. So I'm losing, 8 points of slippage just to get my shit sold way down here. This is what we're going to run into. It's already happened on KuCoin to me when I sold before Digibyte was on Binance. I used KuCoin and I tried to sell KuCoin. I tried to sell on KuCoin. I had to make like 13 or 14 sales, and I cleared out the whole damn buy sheet selling my coins off to somebody, because you need to understand that there's only enough buyers if there are enough sellers. Okay, you got a bunch of coins you want to sell, you better hope there's enough buyers to sell them to. If there's a bunch of sellers, you better hope there's enough buyers to fill those orders. It's just the way it works, and I there's no other way to put it. Let me hop off of Binance here. Anyway, that's the ADMA rules. Few simple steps to follow. I'll have Mullet kick over his information on how he uses it, his simple layout of what he uses to buy and sell on the 8, and we'll tag it in there with this video that we make for this one, and we'll put it up on the pins. Someone asked about the money line. It's a custom setup. It has to be inputted one step at a time. That information is over in the Telegram group though. You can follow it step by step, which is what I did. And I actually have the money line in here now. Here. I accidentally did 2. But according to the money line, Myth is still a buy. I haven't changed the settings on it, which I need to do. I'm gonna have to go in and change some of the numbers around that I haven't changed yet. I mostly just been looking at this thing breaking the bands, which it's been doing, and I've been following that. We'll go over that lesson at a different time. But the information is in the Telegram group, and there is screenshots to follow and an exact printout of what it should look like once you have it. Any questions on the 8 EMA? If you're not using the 8 EMA, then you're not doing it right. It's so good. It's so good. You follow the 8 to buy. You use your other indicators along with the 8 to sell. You're going to find the right spots. Also, you need to be on this shit and don't just leave your chart sitting there, because if you do, you might get burned. Royal had that happen to him. He had this family stuff going on. He couldn't be watching the charts. If you guys have family stuff going on and you can't watch the charts, I know you guys don't like to do it, but put your stop loss in at a certain percent. And if you lose that certain percent, tip your cap and walk away. At least you only lost 7 or 10 as opposed to 15, 20, 30, 40, 50. And you take your losses like a man and you move on. Otherwise, people are going to get burned. When we start moving these coins and really pumping and dumping with the money, maybe we can actually move the market. And if that happens, everyone's going to need to know what the hell's going on. So if we're not paying attention, we're going to lose. Any questions before I close this shit out too? Because it's 1 a.m. as you see in the corner right here. Here in the Canadian land. I'm about to catch a flight back to the North Carolina, South Carolina line here in a couple minutes. And we'll be back to home. You're very welcome, Frank. For anyone else, I put this on my Facebook. I put this on my Twitter and my Instagram. So if anybody else comes in here and they want to know about this stuff, I'm not telling them the private group that we're in on Telegram. That's just for us. If they want to come in and learn and use the tools, that's fine. But they're going to have to actually show somebody that they want to learn before they're allowed to walk in and start getting information that we're dishing out. Y'all fellas are very welcome. Y'all are doing better on these charts than I am, to be honest with you. Y'all are hawking this shit. Can I buy your QKC? I'll give you half of whatever you paid for it. Bird in the hand, right? That's what they do on Pawn Stars. It's worth $1,000. I'll give you 25 cents. It's the best I can do. I gotta frame it. I gotta put it on the shelf. Thoughts on electronium? Well, let's look at it. I don't know. Not Eaton. I used to work there though. You make transmissions for semi trucks. Eaton Transmissions. Still under the money line. RSI is over 40 though. That's good. Looks like we're turning green on our MACD. I like that. We're under the 8. Oh, it just popped over the 8. But we don't have a buy signal yet. And we don't have a buy signal because we haven't confirmed. That's why. Let's have a look at our pivots real quick. Take the money line off because we know we're under it, which tells me no buy yet. Let's look at the pivots first. Pivots say we're floating in between two pivots. As Acre would tell you, not going to work like that. It's got to make a move. I wouldn't buy right now if I were you. Let's Pull the pivots off. Look at the Bollinger Bands. Make sure they're tight. Are they? Hey man, they're getting kind of tight. That's a good sign. So Bollinger Bands are fairly tight. Maybe we do need to watch it and do need to maybe put a move in here. Let's pull a fib from the bottom to the top. I'm sorry, but this is annoying me. I gotta switch it back. I'm left-handed, y'all, so I like this stuff backwards. So we came down to our warning fib, but we didn't break it, and we started popping back up. All right, let's see if we're gonna get through our money line fibs in the other direction. From the top to the bottom. Here, from the top to the bottom. We're at the 382 mark. We need to break this 50. If we break this 50, I bet you're going to get a buy signal pop in here in a minute. If it pops past this 382, gets in this area, you're going to get a buy signal pop up down here. We don't have one yet. We haven't had a signal since this sell up here. Whoops. Yeah, see, that's the last signal we got, sell. And we haven't had a buy since. And that's because it hasn't broken a fib north. It hasn't reversed. So I'd like to see it break the 50. Now we're over the 8. If you want to buy that, I'm not going to argue with you because we're over the 8. And as a matter of fact, when this 8 EMA crosses the 21, when the green crosses the purple, that's bullish. That's a bullish reversal. I haven't seen it yet though. This thing could continue dragging out sideways. When the bands get a little tighter and we cross the 50, which will be 0.00643 at 0.00645, I might buy. And at about the same time, we'll have the MACD near the center, and the RSI will be up here around 60 with room to move. We'll see. Make sense? XLM and VET real quick and do a side by side. XLM, VET, I think what Dre is referring to here is they look really similar. Now the resistance is different from one coin to the next. XLM has a little more than VET did. That's why VET responded so much more angrily. Let's pull the pivots up over here. I want to see. Yeah, see, look. Okay, so V-chain went up over R3. And a matter of fact, by the way, y'all, in case you didn't know, it did a three reversal. Top, swoop, up to the 3 line. I rarely use that I told y'all the 3 line. Now the thing is, since we started this bull move, what I think is a bull move, we're not positive yet. We've seen some odd movements, okay? Some very snappy pop-up jerk movements. And if we put this on the weekly, you'll see that this actually adds up. But on XLM over here, we're still in between R2 and R3. Look how much time we spent over here on that on VeChain. There was a lack of resistance over here on VeChain, so this thing snapped way quicker. That's why XLM has moved more than XRP, because XRP has more resistance. It's not rocket science. That we're not guessing here. We're not going to compare what QKC did to compare to what Dash did for 2 hours in 2015. That's not how fractals work, in my opinion. But clearly, this move is very similar to this move. This will up and down, up and down. You know what I'm saying? This will up and down, up and down. This drop, this pop up, this pop up. That's similar. XLM's hit some resistance. These red lines are, that's resistance. Once it breaks these resistance, it's going to go again. You see my markup here. Just need some time. And if we put these on a weekly, I think we'll see that. Let's put them both on a weekly. I told you about these weekly lines, man. They don't joke. So that's weekly from the top here to the bottom here and snap up to 168. Let's do this one too. From the top here. Damn, it's so far I can't even. There we go. Oh, look what's happening. Look what's happening. Look at that. Right near 1618 on the weekly. This one hasn't even got there yet. It's in between the 1 and the 1414. Do I think it goes up here? Yeah, I do. See how this one stops right here? At R3? I think this is going to do similar. Look how high up R3 is over here on XLM. 20 cent. 20 cent. Do I think it snaps up there immediately? No, I do not. No, I do not. There's other resistance in here. It's got to break first. That's the difference between me and some other people you're going to watch on YouTube. I'm not going to sit here and tell you something's going to go nuts because I don't believe it will. I need proof first. Show me exactly where you know what's going to happen, and I will acknowledge you and tell you you're right. I got no problem being wrong. Against multiple resistances with QKC2, exactly. We almost broke those resistances on QKC, but it didn't. It got stopped, and it got stonewalled. And when it did, it hasn't moved since. It hasn't broken that big barrier. When it breaks that barrier, there's a lack of resistance all the way up to like 400% or something stupid. And I'll be happy to jump in when it hits that. Me and Mullet thought it was going to go the other day, and it pulled a nice little fake out on everybody and reversed. So it's still not ready, I don't think. We're still all lying in wait. All right. Any other questions? Sweet, good deal. Anybody got anything? Otherwise, it's time for me to go to bed, if so. You see what I meant about the order sheet, James? You're welcome, Dre. Be good, man. Word, Smitty. All right, sweet, James. Good deal. All right, I'll get this one stopped, and you're welcome, Royal. I'll get this one stopped, and I'll get it put up in the cloud in the next day or so, and we'll have it pinned up so everybody can see it. Till then, peace.